Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on X Twitter at Movies TV Mad and on Instagram and on Threads at Movies TV Mad X. A very warm welcome to Saturday's edition of the Movies TV Mad Daily. We are gathered here today to bury Doctor Who once and for all and say r.i.p. Doctor Who. But the real funeral will be Doctor Who Series 1 and 2. Now, Russell T Davies and Ncuti Gatwa say they are planning for many more seasons and aren't going anywhere anytime soon. I wouldn't take my shoes off at the mat quite yet, lads, because I think you're going to be very, very surprised that your triggering campaign, your marketing campaign, listen, these days, basically, they want to trigger you. They want to be divisive within the marketing. They think, and I've said this before, they think being divisive is a great way. And then they go on the internet and they see everyone talking about it and being angry. And it still puts the trends up on social media. So they think that's great. It's a purposeful tactic. So if you can help it, don't get triggered by these assholes. Because here's the thing. Hollywood used to be run by talented assholes. And now it's run by untalented arseholes. Hollywood has always been run by arseholes. Let's get that clear. There ain't no one living in some idealistic world that old Hollywood was run by good people. It's never been run by good people. But I'd rather talented arseholes than untalented arseholes. Now, what's very interesting is Russell T Davies is a talented arsehole. But he's become like the rest of them. So there's been lots of conversations during the Doctor Who marketing. And I don't know why they don't just get a red rag and get a bull and just say Toro and be done with it. So he's been talking about the Doctor always being gay. He's a positive chap. He's a colourful chap. Of course he's always been gay. Well, I don't know about you, Russell, but you ain't been hanging around with the gay guys I've been hanging around with. Some of the gay guys I've known in my life are some of the most aggressive, unfriendly, and yes, violent people, violent men I've ever been around. But this is the, let's say, the loony left propaganda. I don't have anything against gay people. I don't have anything against a black gay doctor. But that's how they're selling this show, that we've got a wondrous, positive, gay black doctor. I didn't mind that Ncuti Gatwa was cast. I don't have an issue with Ncuti Gatwa. But really, Ncuti, you do have to ask yourself a question, and you're the one saying these things as well. When the conversation is more about you being gay and black, and not because you're a talented actor, you became very popular on Sex Education, but there's a difference between being Al on Quantum Leap and being the main lead. Al could never have taken over Quantum Leap and led it. He would have become boring. There's no evidence that Ncuti Gatwa can lead a television show or a movie, and we're going to find out if he's any good at doing that. So the proof of the pudding is in the creativity and the execution of the creativity. We will see. So they're making it all about him being gay and black rather than him being a great actor. But it's all about gaslighting. It's all about triggering the audience. He says the reason episodes of Doctor Who will launch at midnight on iPlayer and Disney Plus is for us. It's the future. You can keep your future and you can shove it up your backside. You come from an era in entertainment when watching television and film was a communal experience. When I watched Superman the movie on TV, I could go into school the next day and talk about it. These days, if you watched the premiere of that movie, now I haven't watched it, it's on iPlayer, I'll watch it later. Not really the same, is it? It used to be a communal experience. They're taking away the communal experience. They'll tell you they're giving you more options. Of course, we don't want to go back to the days where, if we miss something, we can watch it again. The technology is great, but I think live TV should be preserved, and live TV should be the first time we actually see something. There's nothing wrong with rewatching things after they've been on live TV. As I say, they call this progress. But that's not the biggest issue. And of course, they always are trying to sell the fact that we're these unreliable narrators who hate everything that Doctor Who do. We're just negative. We're not the negative ones. You're the negative ones. You're the ones gaslighting the fan base. You're the ones who did 4 not-so-specials. Not us. We're not the issue. You are. Of course, there's people out there who are not happy that there's a gay black Doctor. I'm not pretending that everyone is perfect. But I ain't one of those people. Most of the Doctor Who fandom complaining aren't those people. We are constructively criticising the direction this show goes in. Last night, because I'm recording this on a Friday, not actually on a Saturday, I know. The secrets of being an unsuccessful YouTuber, right? So they had Millie Gibson and Ncuti Gatwa coming off a bus, a red bus, like they were on a fashion show. I actually said it, and a few Doctor Who shows didn't like it. Is this a fashion show or is this Doctor Who? They've sexualised Millie from day one. In fact, I was very, very surprised when I first saw it. She's always wearing a dress with her cleavage hanging out. Now, maybe I missed it, but when she was on Corrie, I don't remember her dressing that way in the show or to promote the show. This is from Russell T Davies. This is from the so-called woke Disney. They're only woke when it suits them. It's all lip service, everyone. That's why they've got a black gay Doctor, so they can look inclusive. But they're not inclusive. They're not nice people. When I used to live in Cali, LA, Hollywood, whatever you want to fucking call it, right? Around that area, the sentence they always used to come out with, you outsiders don't understand how we work here in Hollywood. Outsiders, what do you mean by outsiders? We all know what they mean by outsiders, right? Foreigners, people who don't have their DNA. So don't tell me these people are not bigoted and racist. Why is it the most racist, bigoted industry is always pretending that it's on the right side, that it's fighting against racism when they're the most racist people in the world? They're the most racist business in the world. If you knew how it really worked in entertainment, you wouldn't question that. If I explained to you about surnames and what those surnames mean and what DNA they belong to, if you'd be staggered. It's basically a bit like Clark in Smallville when he finally knew how to read Kryptonian, right? It's different. You understand what's going on then, right? It's when you learn a foreign language. And then my dad did it for me and explained to me what the surnames mean. Then you know that there's no inclusion. The black people, the Asian people, they're not inclusive people. They have the same DNA as the white people in Hollywood, and that's the only reason they're getting a job. But I'm not going to sit here and break the code for you. I'm not going to do that because it's not polite, so I won't do it. But if you knew how uninclusive they are, then you'd be on the internet and you'd be laughing your fucking heads off. Everything they do is lip service. Everything they say is bullshit. So Doctor Who is dead. Now, there's a few shills out there who don't want to believe it. Someone defended me saying, is this a fashion show or Doctor Who? By saying, well, it's a premiere, so it's a fashion show. Excuse me? They're promoting Doctor Who. They've got the female companion dressed like a $10 hooker. I thought we wasn't doing this anymore. I thought we weren't going to sexualise girls and women anymore. I thought Hollywood was going to be kind. I thought Hollywood was going to clean its fucking act up. No. Hollywood, I say Hollywood, let's say entertainment. But Doctor Who is Hollywood now. It's fucking owned by Disney. And if you think Disney don't really own Doctor Who, you haven't been paying attention to the right people. So what are we going to have? We already know that the Disney writer, Kate Herron, is doing an episode called Rogue, which is about a white guy who's up to bad things. I'm sure he's a racist. I'm sure he's a bigot. These people are so predictable. Racist white people talking about racist white people. I mean, the fucking irony isn't lost on me. but they're so predictable. So Russell T Davies is saying all this shit, how gay, how the Doctor must be gay because he's a good, fun, bright coloured person, right? But the Doctor apparently hasn't been this emotional since Ncuti Gatwa played him. No, this dude is better than the other dudes. Of course he is. He would have to be, wouldn't he? Because white people are really, really bad, and all the other people and the women are good. So it's very, very black and white in the world of the loony left. It's white people, especially straight white males, are bad. Gay people are great. Minorities are great, but white guys are bad. We see it in EastEnders. We see it in all the soaps now. All the white guys are bad, and all the girls and minorities are good. Is that the world you live in? Is it? Because everyone's a fucking individual. I keep on telling you guys, they can't write women because the only women they know are in the entertainment industry, right? Vain feminists. We're not really feminists. Bullshitters. We're living in a world of bullshitters. As I say, Hollywood has always been run by arseholes. Everyone working in Hollywood has always been a vain arsehole. But at least they were talented, the older ones, back in the day. These people are not even relevant or even talented. And there's nothing worse than people who act like they're relevant when they're not. When you see these mid-modern day celebrities, when you see YouTubers go, oh, 1 million subscribers, ain't I fucking good? Let me brag about having 1 million subscribers, right? Not that it's ever going to happen. I'm nowhere near it. It never will happen. But imagine by some miracle, I get 1 million subscribers. It's never going to happen, right? But I will never brag about it. I will never have a picture going, 1 million subscribers, thank you. No, because they're not thanking you. Let's have a live video celebrating I've got 1 million fucking subscribers so you can pay to talk to me. Oh, yeah. But people are so fucking stupid, right? And they think these YouTubers are good guys. They're no better than the fucking people working in the fucking industry. As soon as someone gets successful, they are corrupted by that success. Look at all the YouTubers that weren't successful when you started following them, right? And I'm not going to give you an example. I know one that I'm not going to mention his name. Okay, it's a he. He was one way before he was successful, and now he's another way. And it's blatant. And it's blatant. I still follow, I still repost, I'm still very supportive. I like the guy, but he's changed. Naturally, success changes people. Please, if by some miracle I wake up some morning and all of a sudden people are fucking following me and listening to what I've got to say, please, I don't want to change. I really don't want to fucking change it. I want to appreciate the people who made me. The 5 people who used to like my videos. Now, there'll be 5 people, 3 to 5 people who like my videos every day. Do you think I don't know who you are? You think I don't appreciate you? Of course I do. And I won't forget you if as I say, it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. I'm not just saying that because I want it to happen. And I think if I do it reverse, it will. It won't. Because my videos have no effort to them. I just say what's on top of my head. This ain't a script. I don't have an earpiece. Look, I don't have a fucking earpiece. Right? But here's what's amazing about current day entertainment is the talented people are now, reading from the same hymn sheet that the not so talented people in modern day entertainment are. So I believe it wouldn't matter who would be running Doctor Who today. It would be just as shit. I suppose it's really shocking when someone like Russell T Davies is doing it, someone we used to believe in, someone who revived Doctor Who in such a brilliant way. It virtually doesn't happen that an old show like Doctor Who, and let's be honest, I mean, I loved Doctor Who, I loved the Peter Davison era as a kid, but I knew what it was. I knew it was amateur hour, I knew it was basic, I knew they didn't have a budget, I knew they were shooting in a fucking cupboard. But it gave you your imagination. Doctor Who's idea and concepts was so brilliant that the budget couldn't really do it justice. So you had to use your imagination. Now with the CGI, of course, you don't need imagination. That's sad. CGI has stolen our imagination. It hasn't invigorated our imagination because that's the idea. Stop them from thinking. Old entertainment wanted to keep us thinking, and new entertainment wants to stop us from thinking. And they've stopped the kids today thinking. But you know what? here's another truth. I mean, Millie Gibson, and this was not on Millie, she did an interview where she spoke about this new era of Doctor Who being for TikTokers, because they're always trying to program and make movies for Gen Z. And here's the shocker for you. Gen Z don't go to the cinema in their droves. Gen Z don't watch TV. Gen Z don't watch the iPlayer. Gen Z did like Ncuti Gatwa in Sex Education. But that was a bit, that's old, because to Gen Z, yesterday's history. That's done now. If you think that Gen Z are going to sit and watch Ncuti Gatwa in Doctor Who, in their droves, you've got another thing coming. Oh, there'll be a few who checked out the Not So Specials and thought, this show's shit. Sorry, Ncuti, mate, I'm not going to keep on watching you. I'll just watch reruns of Sex Education. But it's history. Gen Z are literally on TikTok and Instagram. They are not on Facebook. They are not on Twitter. They're on TikTok and Instagram. Right? That's where they are. They're either making their own entertainment or viewing, their peers' entertainment. That's the reality. Because I'm not on TikTok anymore, but I used to be on TikTok. I see how it works. There's a lot of people my age, and I'm 51, who don't really understand Gen Z. And, they're individuals. They're not, and this is another thing. You can't stereotype people. But modern day entertainment try and stereotype women, Gen Z. You can't appeal to Gen Z. Millie Gibson's, scripted interview was, it's very controversial. It's about politics and all of that. Gen Z are going to love it. But not all Gen Z swing that way. Everyone's fucking different, right? I like to treat people like individuals rather than one group of people. But entertainment can't do that. White men are bad. Minorities are good. Women are good. That's the entertainment industry. So let's talk about this whole season 1 thing. Why is RTD calling it, season 1? He's saying, well, it's a restart. No, Disney don't want to accept that previous Doctor Who exists, including your era, Russell. And you know this because they've told you this. I know they've told you this. They've told you even your era was problematic. So now, you took Davros out the wheelchair because apparently it stereotypes disabled people and everyone's going to think all disabled people are going to be bad. What utter bullshit. That is what Disney think, not what Russell T Davies think. We know that he said on a Doctor Who confidential interview, he was asked, did you ever think about changing Davros? And he said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You said that, Russell. You said it, mate, not us. It's always our fault, isn't it, Russell? It's always the fans' fault. I've always admired Russell T Davies. He inspired me to write my own shit that's never been made. A lot of the stuff I write for my amateur dramatics group, write, direct and acting, my amateur dramatics group, is inspired by great people like J.J. Abrams. When he was great, when he was doing Lost, when he was doing Alias, when he was doing Felicity, when he was doing Fringe. Because J.J. Abrams is a talented guy, but unfortunately, he's like those YouTubers I was talking about. He became too big, had his fingers in too many pies, and became a business person instead of a creative. I respect what he did creatively in television, but what's going on? I even like J.J. Abrams' 2009 Star Trek movie. I stand by my words, and I've always said that, and I always will. Russell T Davies is also like those YouTubers who, weren't so successful, were successful, had a moderate success. All of a sudden, he's got 1 million subs, right? And he's changed. And he's betrayed what he used to stand for. Let's not forget, the original revival is the same people and producers who blacklisted Christopher Eccleston. And what was Christopher Eccleston's great crime? He fought for his crew and cast members because they weren't being treated fairly. It wasn't really anybody's fault. That production team weren't used to making a Genius show with CGI, huge budgets, with huge schedules. And they were getting stressed and everyone was fighting. And I get it. I don't blame anyone. But then they blacklisted poor Christopher Eccleston for being a good guy. Because Chris is, he's a upper matter and power to the people kind of guy. And if you've ever seen him talk, you'll know that. A lot of time for Chris. Still think he's the best revival Doctor. Maybe even RTD thinks so, even though he wouldn't say it out loud. So they blacklisted that guy. They caused his anxiety and mental health to go through the roof. This is what they do. They are not good people. But as I say, I don't mind bad people who are talented. I can live with you. Because at the end of the day, they're going to abuse people. They're going to commit crimes behind the scenes and things like that, whether they're talented or not. So the untalented people are doing all the bad things the talented people used to do. So I'll take the talented criminals over the untalented criminals. That's the reality of the industry. I know. I've seen it. I've seen it all. So when people say, you don't know what you're talking about, mate, look at your subs. It doesn't matter about my subs. My subs are not relevant. You know, it's like in JFK, I've said it before, when Kevin Costner says, I always find it amusing that a prostitute has to have bad eyesight on the witness stand because she's a prostitute. It's like, if a content creator isn't very popular at all, doesn't get any views, then obviously they must have bad eyesight. They must not understand what the subject matter and what they're talking about. But I do. That's why I call myself Movies TV Man. I love movies and TV. But I love good movies and TV. And I love movies and TV and entertainment made with the bestest of intentions. And entertainment is not made in the bestest of intentions anymore. It's made by extremists. Now, in a way, Hollywood and entertainment has always been run by these alt-left extremists, but their ideologies were buried. It's like Falling Down. I've said it before, it is about a toxic male. Phone Booth is about a toxic male who's taught a lesson. It's all there, but it's not blatant. They don't hammer you over the head with it. So now we've got Russell T Davies and Disney. Now, even when you look at the promotional campaign for Doctor Who, this new season 1 Doctor Who, it doesn't feel like Doctor Who, does it? And I know the show always reinvents itself and it's always different, but it seems like I'm watching, you know, when you were a kid and you watched Top of the Pops and they used to, you know, in the 80s they used to wear bright colours and stuff just to distract you from not being talented. And that's what I feel is going on now. We've got Millie looking, she does look gorgeous, don't get me wrong. Millie Gibson is a stunner, beautiful girl. I don't like it though. I don't like her being sexualised. And I'm a 51-year-old geezer who loves fit women. I love them. Fit women. When I see one on the street, I'm like, ooh, yeah, you know. I'm only human. I don't wolf whistle. I don't make them feel uncomfortable. But in my head, I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, I need a cold shower. We all do. Let's not pretend we're not that way. This is what I'm talking about. We're never going to live in this perfect world, in this Cocteau Demolition Man world. 50,000 credits because you just fantasized about humping Millie Gibson. Well, that's life. I'm a man. That's what I do. And nobody gets hurt through a fantasy, right? But I'm honest. That's the difference. I'm honest and the rest of you are not. You want to act like you're perfect, that you're morally superior to the rest. That's what social media do, right? We're all a bunch of fucking shits. And in our heads, we think a lot of bunch of shitty things. That's life. That's reality. That's okay. The difference is entertainment has always, you know, taken the fantasy. They'll take my fantasies and make them fucking real. That's the difference. You don't make the fantasies real. You don't actually, you know, do that. But anyway, so fantasy's a fantasy, isn't it? It's, you know, harmless when it's in your head. But yeah, at this point, it's no fun to, you know, to consume entertainment. It's not fun anymore. But they're purposely triggering us. And it does put a weight on my heart. It does. And it's very, very sad. It's very, very sad because, as I said, they may used to have been arseholes, but they were talented arseholes. And the more of this over-elaborate Doctor Who campaign I see, the worse it gets. The worse it gets. And it's more about Shooty being black and gay. And, of course, it's used as gaslighting. They're trying to gaslight the racists and, you know, the homophobes. I understand. But what's the point? I mean, look, he was talking about the people not happy with his casting because he's black and gay. And he's saying those people are not really fans. I mean, listen, I don't like those people. I don't like those people. I don't like that attitude at all. I think it's wrong. As I said, I'm an Anglo-Greek Cypriot who was racially abused. I get it. I may not look that, dark skinned, but I am. I have an olive complexion, and at school you could tell more. And I have my black hair and all that, and obviously I shave it off now because it's mainly white rather than black, dark brown or whatever it fucking is. But I've experienced racism. I understand the need to talk against racism. But the problem is the entertainment industry is racist. And we've spoken about reverse racism as well. Ncuti Gatwa spoke about white mediocrity. That's racist. He's basically being racist. And it's not even reverse racism, right? And how can I say this without getting into trouble? Yes, there are as many racist black people towards white people as there are white people racist towards black people. Or any other people that are different. Now, a black person will say to me, but Mick, the reason we don't like white people is because of the historical racism. But you're taking it out on people who are not actually racist. I can't do nothing about my ancestors. My parents, my uncles, my aunts, my great-great-nan. How far are we going to take this? When are we just going to embrace each other and forgive and forget? So, there is racism in the world. There are people not happy that Ncuti's black and gay. I understand that. But I say this. Why was Ncuti cast? Was he cast because he's a talented black gay actor? Or was he just cast because he's black and gay? So then they can talk about him being black and gay. And we know most of these episodes are going to be about racism and bigotry. Because it's the only language they fucking know. And the only racists, of course, are straight white males. Everybody else is brilliant. Now, I like a good party, so I'm going to enjoy watching the long-winding 2-season funeral of Doctor Who. The funeral started with the Star Beast episode. The funeral, in fact, actually, I'm wrong. It has been known a few times. The funeral started a long time ago. Maybe the funeral even started in the Moffat era. But at least that was, a subjective, creative opinion, because at least he was trying to be entertaining and do great things, and Moffat's got a great, vivid imagination. And I'm one of the few people that's happy he's back on Doctor Who, because I think he genuinely, loves Doctor Who. Before people say, well, Moffat's woke, they're all woke. They've always been woke. Gatiss, Moffat, RTD, they've always been woke, but being woke wasn't always a bad thing, because they kind of weren't so blatant about it. I think, in some areas, being woke and talking, against bigotry and racism and, violence and toxicity is a good thing. And it's a good thing to teach youngsters good moral lessons. I don't have anything against that. But when you're teaching the next generation that straight white males are evil and everybody else is good, that's a bit of a problem. That's what's happening now. That's what's happening. We are Donald Trump and everybody else is Joe Biden. And what's funny about Joe Biden, and look, I'm more Democrat than I am Republican, but what's funny is Biden's really kind of a moderate Republican anyway. A bit like Tony Blair was really a moderate conservative. So he's not really a good guy, he's just the best of a bad bunch. It's my opinion, my slight political opinion there. Don't cancel me for it. I think we should embrace each other's opinions politically and not become enemies over them, right? So you're thinking, I don't agree with this guy, I don't like him anymore, I'm gonna... No, it's okay. It's just a difference of opinion. You don't have to destroy me for it, right? We can still be mates. I love Doctor Who. I'm always going to love Doctor Who. And this, my friends, is just proof of the pudding. This was a celebration of Doctor Who. But there's some people that hate Doctor Who because we never had a black doctor before. That's why the Timeless Children happened. So they could rewrite Doctor Who history and have a few black doctors, Asian doctors. Everything's all right now, right? It's not really, because they're not really doctors. They're not really, we haven't seen them in the TARDIS with their own companions and stuff and having adventures. So it still doesn't fix it. But as I leave right now, I'm going to give you a bit of a hot take. That the Chibnall era, as underwhelming and boring and dull as it was better than the first 4 episodes of RTD2. He's talking about groundbreaking casting in Ncuti Gatwa. Oh no, you don't, RTD, because Chibnall gave us Joe Martin first. Joe Martin did more, was a better doctor in the few, what was she the doctor for? 20 minutes in that episode, right? The Fugitive of the Jadoon. She did more great Doctor Who things than Ncuti Gatwa did in that whole Christmas Day episode. Now put that in your pipe and smoke it.